Well, as you can see, that was a fairly timed out service. 47 minutes in. See, if we wouldn't have communion and this would have been a lay-led service, you would almost be out of here early, right? But just a couple of quick comments. I have there ultimate allegiance to God, where Peter and the disciples stood up and said, we must obey God rather than man. We certainly do enjoy a lot of freedoms in this country. A lot of men and women have fought for those freedoms. And who knows how long some of them will last. But still, our ultimate allegiance is to God. Regardless of, and I told the children, you know, we are told, there's clear scripture passages that say we are to obey the government. In fact, who put the government in position? That Romans passage says God did. And that's like even when Jesus is before Pilate, Pilate says, I have authority to release you or crucify you or retain you. And what was Jesus' reply? You have no authority over me unless it has been given to you. And so even at that point, we see clear representation of that our governing authorities have been put in position and place by God. But like I told the children, when the government begins to tell us to do things that are totally against Scripture, then we have the right to buck the system, so to speak. But until then, we're called to obey the governing authorities that we have. And so just with that, reflecting on that and reflecting on these readings, and even you can see clearly, I know there's debate on whether or not our country was really founded on what we would call Christian principles. Certainly our founding fathers did have the foresight, and even in the Mayflower Compact, the people initially came over here for certainly a religious freedom, and in that case even Christian freedom, it was mentioned. But as our country was established, it was established with the religious of freedom in mind. Now, what that means is what? All religions, and that's why we see maybe the diverse country that we live in as far as the religions that are represented here. And so with that in mind, too, we know that we're going to be confronted with different thought processes, different religious ideas, but yet we hold as Christians to the Christian faith. And I pray that we will not, that we could see a turnaround in our country as far as the Christian faith goes. But unfortunately, I believe Scripture is clear that we're never going to really enjoy real freedom and peace while we live here. But ultimately, when Christ returns, we will have that freedom in Him that He gives. So as we move forward as a congregation, I pray that we certainly hold out who Jesus is, the cross of Christ, for people to see and know who He is.